Hi everyone, my name is Felisario. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, then hi, welcome. I'm a transgender YouTuber who loves fashion, music and makeup. So if you like all those things, then please subscribe. I am so sorry I haven't done a video in so long. I have literally been going through so much and I'm just trying my best to try and get through it, so I do apologise if I haven't been making videos. Other than that, as you might be able to tell, my setup is a little bit different. I'm kind of using a phone instead of a camera. I thought it would bring like a different feel to the video, make it a little bit more raw, see if it captures something different. Okay, so in today's video, I really want to talk about this because, you know, it's something as a transgender woman that I'm going through, and I think I should really say it how it is because we do struggle. Dating is really hard for us transgender people because there's many reasons why, and we'll get into that, but I want to talk about why it's hard for us and why we kind of get frustrated about dating, how sometimes I'm losing kind of like the will to even, sometimes I just feel like I might end up alone because I think a lot of men look at us as like a fetish, or we're something like an experiment or just a fantasy. And you know what, that can be good. A little aspect of that could be good, but if someone just looks at you purely just because it's a fetish, a sexual fetish, it's really degrading for me, for other transgender women. It's just not cool, and I get that a lot, you know. I get a lot of guys speaking to me on dating apps and stuff, just really just purely speaking to me for sexual pleasure, and it's very draining because it's like, that's just not what I'm about. And I do understand that I do kind of perceive myself as a confident woman who loves her body, and I do like to show that kind of sexy side, but it doesn't define me as a person, and it certainly doesn't summarize how I am. It's just a part of me, but I wouldn't put that at the top of who I am as a person. I have interests, I have, you know, hobbies, I have things to talk about, I have humor, and they're more of the things that I like to talk about when I'm speaking with a guy, rather than, you know, like just the sexual things. So it can be hard because it's just frustrating to me. It's just very frustrating for me because I can't seem to break that from them. It's like they're brainwashed to only feel like that towards me, and it's kind of sad because I don't think it's a common thing for, like, you know, a biological woman. Like, they would never experience that. But what I tend to do is I don't really go into deep with those types of guys. I just kind of like brush them off because it'll never be anything else, nothing more than just a sexual kind of thing, and I'm not about that because I want something more than that, you know. And a lot of us transgender women, we don't want just sex, you know. We want like that real connection with you or with someone who we're attracted to. So that's one thing to understand. And another thing is, a guy can really like me, and you know, they can have all the feelings for me. They don't look at me as just a sexual thing. They actually like me for who I am and as a person, which is great. But another hurdle to that is that sometimes they're afraid of what others think, and that gets in the way, and sometimes even takes over the situation, and you know, that leaves me kind of like left aside, because even though they like me, they can't deal with it, and they're basically fighting themselves. But that can be really frustrating, because it's a sense of like betrayal, and not like intentional, but it feels like someone really likes you for who you are, and they get you, and they think you're beautiful, they like your personality. Isn't that a good start for? I think that's enough to be able to progress within each other. I think that's enough to, you know, get closer. But then they have the last hurdle of them being like, oh well, what will my mum think, what will my friends think? And then that completely puts them off you. It makes you kind of feel like it's a no-win situation. Do you get what I mean? Okay. What else have I got to talk about? Yeah. I think sometimes like being transgender, it's like it's a lot to learn from a perspective of someone who is dating you. They need to be able to understand you as a person, and that can be quite difficult, because for me, I do tend to have this thing where I just kind of like figure things out, and then, you know, I just live life and not really think about it, and it doesn't seem confusing for me, so I would rather not be so vocal about it, because to me it's normal. But having to explain myself and how I got here and why I'm like this and stuff, it's kind of like it's a whole freaking book, you know. It's a whole like biography that you have to say to a guy, because obviously they want to understand you and stuff, and I get that, but it's when you would go there and you actually explain yourself, and you tell them all the things about you, and you know, like your life and stuff like that, and then it just becomes like you're giving yourself to that person, you're giving them your trust, and you're showing them you're showing them a part of you. And I find it very difficult to do that, because I just have really bad trust issues with men, people in general. It's just me. I like to think that I like to just be very cautious with who I give my trust to, and it really holds me back with dating, because I know there's a lot out there that have bad intentions towards me. So it's hard for me to actually find someone who's genuine, and even if they were genuine, I wouldn't really know, because I think I need to have some sort of, what would you call it, some sort of reassurance, and that reassurance is just, so I barely don't like talking about sex or anything like that when I'm dating a guy. In the first kind of like, you know, the first encounter, I don't really like talking about what's happening down there and stuff, because who does? You wouldn't really want to talk about that. Like, that's something you gotta work for, and that's really hard for me, because obviously, like, with the trust issues that I have, it's really challenging for me to differentiate what's genuine and what's not. It's probably not even a trans thing, it's probably just me as a person. I'm not gonna, and another thing is, like, it's really confusing for a guy to date someone who's trans, and I always have to put that into consideration, and I always have to kind of like bear that in mind. I try my hardest not to get emotional about that stuff. Sometimes I feel like I'm dealing with guys who don't know what they want, and not because like I go for guys who don't know what they want, it just seems to be like that because it's like unusual, or it's something new or something unknown for them. So sometimes I have to take the lead and the role to kind of, you know, see how this progresses, see how we can make this work. But a lot of the time I don't have the energy to be doing that, because to be honest, guys should know what they want, and they should be comfortable with what they want. I can't reinforce that. I can't like make them want me. I can only give half of the effort they give me. So it's kind of hard for me, because I do find myself a lot of the times making a lot of effort with guys, and it is what it is, to be honest. But I do know one thing, that I'm doing this because I know myself more. If I didn't, then it would just become a mess in my mind. So I like to know where I am with things with guys, or with a guy. So I always feel like a lot of the guys that I've dated, I'm just rambling on, really. This is just too much. Like, but the guys I've dated in the past, they just kind of like, don't know how to be open about this. Like, yeah, I think there's the fear of commitment from a guy. Obviously I can't have biological children, and I think the aim is to, with a relationship, if you really want to be with that person, is, you know, have a family in the end, and like build from that. But I think, like, as a transgender woman, there's always this kind of like struggle within starting a family, because, you know, we can't conceive and stuff like that. Don't have a womb, can't relate, don't have period pains, can't relate. But yeah, so I think guys are afraid to commit with a transgender girl because it's probably because they're not capable to love us, probably because they're afraid to love us. And one of the fear is basically not being able to have a family, and that also impacts on not just them but their parents, because you know their parents want grandchildren, and the thought of like that being not possible, it's like a fear. And I think a lot of guys would rather not go into that. But I hope there's a guy out there that can like understand that, you know, there's other solutions and there must be a way in the future for that to happen. But for right now, I think it's like, would you really risk it? That's how they feel, I think. Which is kind of sad, to be honest. Because I'm a very like, I would love a family one day, and I would love to have a child. I want to bring that child to have the best life, to be the best person that they can possibly be. You know, I haven't had the best life, and I haven't like, and I can say this because I don't have any bitterness, I don't have any anger in me to like, I don't have any of that, because I've learned to understand that's why you go through teenage years, because you understand these, you learn from these things. And you know, my mum and my dad have made a lot of sacrifices for me, and through that it's just been for them having to make sacrifices for me. They had to sacrifice the bonding time that they could have had with me. So I think I kind of just like learned from that, and because I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for my family or my mom and my dad. So I'm not like shading my parents, because they're great people. It's just that I didn't have the traditional kind of upbringing. So one day, if I did have a family, well, I'm gonna make that happen. Well, if I have a family, when I have a family, I will make sure that they will have the best upbringing ever. Okay. So I can't really think of anything else in my mind right now about what's another struggle. Oh yeah, I guess like the dysphoria of dating is kind of like scary sometimes, because you know, being transgender, you are going through kind of like a dysphoria within yourself, so that can impact on the other person. And I would rather not, you know, I would rather get myself in a happy place. I am in a kind of okay place, but at the same time I've got a lot to work on within my mental state and also my physical state. As a woman, yes, I do see myself as a woman, but at the same time I kind of know what I need to do to feel more like a woman without having to try, if you know what I mean. And just thought of like, okay, this is like, it's just another little side thing that I struggle with when it comes to dating. So like, if I was to go on a date with a guy and things progressed and, you know, I would see them again and stuff like that, it would just be like, it would almost feel like, it just, okay, it just makes me feel more insecure when I'm with a guy, because, you know, I'm literally like, I'm literally showing them who I am as a person, and like, you know, when all the mask is off and I start to show my insecurities, I just get really uncomfortable with doing that, and that could just be because I am just learning to accept myself. It's more about like, I accept myself, but I'm just afraid if others will accept me. And there's another thing, like I do wake up in the morning and stuff, and there's certain things about me that still is a masculine trait that I need to fix, and I don't really like to show that side of me to a guy, especially if a guy is attracted to me purely based on my femininity, purely based on the fact that I am a woman. So, but as a transgender woman, there's things that you have to work on to become the woman you are. And, you know, there's hurdles of being trans, because genetically I am a male, so I'm gonna have male traits. And those things are just something that I can't seem to be open about when it comes to getting close with a guy, because it's just like, would he still like me? Would he still accept me for who I am? Would he still find me beautiful? And that's purely because I have put a lot of pressure onto myself to become beautiful. I mean, I do try my best to with my appearance, because it's very important to me, and it might not be important to other people, but it's just important to me, because it's something that keeps me confident, and it keeps me from loving myself, because I have struggled with that in the past, and it's just something that I'm working on. And I'm not like I'm not saying that every guy out there is like bad and stuff. There's good guys out there too, and I have, you know, really good guys who understand me as a friendship level. And, you know, and one thing I have learned about every single one of my like guy friends that actually understand me, who are actually, you know, genuine, is that they're all very smart, successful people, and very intelligent people too. So I think it just takes someone who's open-minded, a deep thinker, and someone who has knowledge to understand a girl like me from the Philippines, who is going through a change, transitioning into a woman, going through her journey. It's a complex thing, and there's a lot of layers into that. And as I said, with dating, it's a handful for many people who are just like me. I know I'm not alone, because I know there's transgender women out there who feel exactly the same as I do. so I need to remember that I'm not alone. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna wrap this video up because I think I'm just rambling on now, and I really didn't know where I was gonna go with this. It kind of was about dating and kind of about a lot of things about me, so just for you guys to understand a little bit about me, because I want to keep my channel as genuine as possible. I want to, you know, engage with you guys truthfully, and I think the only way to do that is to just be open about who I am as a person and what I believe in and what I feel, just so you guys might understand me. And if you don't, then I don't blame you, to be honest. I'm a very, 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 very confusing person. Okay, other than that, thank you for watching, guys, and subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I hope to see you again soon. Bye.